bring in our panel to discuss the outlook for the labor market. Eric Packman, Chief Analytics Officer at Bank Creek Capital Advisors, and Harley Lippman, CEO, founder of Genesis 10. Thank you both for being with us. So, Harley, I'll start with you. What are you thinking here as far as what's going on in the big picture of the labor market? We did not get our jobs report. Everybody, of course, hangs on that. That would have been very important today. But we have gotten plenty of jobs reports in the past few months, and they have shown some weakness. What do you think we need to know here now?
Well, there is weakness, certainly in the manufacturing area, and mostly due to political uncertainty globally. That's really what's responsible for the weakness in the job market. And then to a lesser extent, AI is taking its role. But that is certainly, we think, being exaggerated by the country and CEOs. Certainly, we think AI is going to be transformational and have a huge impact on jobs in the next 4 to 10 years for sure. But in the next 1 to 3 years, I suspect that back office finance and accounting are going to be heavily hit. We got a report from a Fortune 20 executive who feels that 70% of back office jobs in finance and in accounting will be eliminated by AI in the next 3 years.
And so what do you think, Eric? I mean, what do you see the jobs picture today? Obviously we had the revision to the whole year. That surprised folks. And we've been, everybody was hoping for an average of 50,000 plus jobs a month. I don't know what we would have gotten today. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, we did see the ADP report a couple days ago, and that one was down 32,000. That's been diverging pretty substantially from the BLS's data up until they revised. But I have a slightly different take on the. I think that for the last year we've been writing about how the job market has been disproportionately driven by healthcare jobs, and I know we've talked about it on this program, Nicole. And so healthcare jobs were really propping the market up. I think over the last 2 years, 66% of all new jobs were driven by healthcare and social assistance, according to the BLS's data. That's only 17% of the entire job market, though. So it was not a healthy situation. I mean, the way you could put it is it's like what's happening with the S&P, where so much is being concentrated in one theme. Well, our job market has been concentrated in one theme for the better part of the last 2 years, and that's starting to slow. I mean, the latest fiscal policy that's going to be kicking in 2027 to really kneecap Medicaid, you're already starting to hear reports of hospital networks across the country that are cutting administrative staff. And then you can add the impact of AI, but this is just the impact of cost cuts that are coming down the pike and hospitals trying to get ahead of them. So I don't really see much to be excited about at all in the job market right now, and I haven't for the last year.
Well, they said that graduates will have a hard time this spring when they graduate, spring, summer, to get a job. I mean, when also you heard from the Walmart CEO and other CEOs talking about how AI could really change the landscape. I mean, how might that really change things here, Harley?
Well, I think first, to just give overall commentary, people aren't quitting as much as they used to. They're kind of hunkering down. They're not as confident. So there isn't as much turnover. People are worried. You have that dynamic in the air. But in terms of AI, the good news is that companies could look at it as job transformational instead of job loss. And that's done in terms of upskilling and training. So you have to be able to train your employees who have industry knowledge, have cultural knowledge of your environment in a business. And you can retain those good employees who have that value to bring, but you have to do the upskilling so you make them more a friend of AI. And what companies are looking for are people that have curiosity, that are adaptable, and that embrace AI, not that they're afraid of it.
And so when you think about this, Eric, I mean, when we looked here, the pluses were education, health services, information, but a lot of minuses, finance, business services, leisure and hospitality. Do you see that dynamic changing at all? What's adding or what's losing jobs?
No, I mean, I don't. And to be clear, like, I don't know how much the Fed cares about the ADP data. I mean, if they did care about the ADP data, they probably would have acted much sooner because it's been flagging warning signs for quite a long time. And the ADP data over a short period of time, at least this year, has diverged substantially from the BLS. So when you just look at the latest BLS data that we got, it's all healthcare and social assistance. And every now and again, you have a good print for leisure and hospitality, but I kind of look at that industry as like a knock-on effect from a strong economy, right? I mean, if you have a lot of layoffs in hospitals and in the healthcare services space, then people may not take fancy trips anymore. So professional and business services is really where a lot of the technology employees, like the coders, the accountants, the consultants, the jobs that are likely at risk, that's where they live. And that has been one of the largest drivers as the service economy has evolved in this country over the past like 20, 30 years. And that has been declining for the last year. This has never happened outside of a recession before, and we're a year into that. And that's based on data going back to 1930. So to answer your question, like, no, I mean, I think it's healthcare or bust at this point in time, and probably starting earlier than 2027. I mean, I think I've been saying this for a while, but we're probably, moving towards the bust side, and I don't know what else kind of picks up the slack from that.
And then, Harley, last thought here is that you said the employers are hiring, but they want people who are adaptable or maybe learning more in AI or who can have upskill and have a better story going forward. Is that right? Tell me more.
Yes, because there are opportunities. Problems are opportunities in general when you look at business. If you go back, the horse and the buggy ended, but it created an automotive industry that created even more jobs when people were frightened at the time. So I make that analogy today with the AI transformation. So I think that people have to show employers that they are that they want to work with AI. They want to use it as a tool to be able to be more productive and accomplish more. I think that a lot of employers are seeing potential employees or existing employees that are worried about AI. They're worried about it taking their jobs. And I would encourage people to be positive about AI because it's here, it's going to grow, it's going to have a massive impact on not only this country, but the world. And the sooner they take that into account and embrace AI, the better everybody will be. But it's really in terms of upskilling. Companies have to embrace upskilling, what my company does and other companies do, training. That's going to make the difference. So training has to take place, and that'll cause greater opportunities for everyone.
In the meantime, the U.S. Senate rejects Democratic government funding bill, voting next on Republican stopgap funding bill. It doesn't seem to be going smoothly, so we can probably still count on maybe the government shutdown and lack of data, maybe even into next week when we're supposed to get the CPI. Eric Pachman, Harley Lippman, thanks for your chat here on the labor picture.